The things that have a grip on you are the things in your life that's worth examining.
That's good.
And fasting, what it does is it removes basic things. And every single time I've ever done it, it begins to reveal other things that I wasn't necessarily looking for, that God's like, hey, we need to do some work on this and we need to do this. And I'm telling you, there's a connection with the Lord on the other side of that process that is worth every bit of it.
Welcome to the Step Up Podcast, where our goal is to help you step up in every area of your life. I'm your host, Josh Thomas, and I'm joined by my pastor, Chris Kouba.
All right, it's almost over.
Almost over.
I mean, we're within hours now of the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's been pretty wild, man.
I would say so.
2025 has been a big year.
It has.
Kind of for both of us.
Personally, professionally, spiritually, yes. Good. What about you? What are some things you are reflecting on?
I mean,
here?
So let's just go pick some categories. Personally, we moved this year. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
We weren't expecting to move,
Yeah.
and just kind of an opportunity
That did happen this year.
Yeah, it feels like a long time ago, but it happened earlier this year. I had a son who started driving. That's kind of crazy.
Another
And had
driver
his
in the
first
house.
wreck. There you
Yeah.
go. Made it through that. Everything's good. I had a daughter that started college.
I feel like that's the
And
biggest thing.
She's home. It's
Yeah.
the best. It's been the best.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
She loved it. She had a great time. We had a great time through her, living our lives vicariously through her. That was huge.
I would say that you
Been amazing.
are the most active on social media when you are with Caitlin.
Oh, because I'm like, hey, babe, what should I post? What should I do? Whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But church-wise, we baptized the most people in the history of the church.
That's pretty cool.
Which was a huge increase
Yeah, in a
over
calendar
last year,
year.
which was the most we ever had baptized.
Yeah.
It's just God's hand and blessing of this place. Really, it goes back
It's
to
been cool.
our prayer service at the beginning of the year that we had here in United City. That, man, is still one of my favorite services. I can't wait for the one we're going to do in a couple of weeks here. But just, it's been a huge year. Just the ministry growth of the church. We, 3 services for a whole another. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's just been neat. What about you?
I would say that one of them is the baptism piece.
Yes.
We baptized 74 young adults.
74.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Bro, that's huge.
It is. I look at that number and I'm like, man, God is so faithful. But just to see how he's writing some stories is really cool. I would say stepping into the worship pastor role has been real fun.
Yes.
It's been a long time coming, just personally, just praying through.
We've been working towards this for a while.
Yeah, we
Yep.
have, and so just stepping into it is fun. But one that I'm really excited about, kind of away from United City ministry, would be I started my album project that is hopefully coming out.
Original songs.
Original songs, yeah, all 10 original songs
Yes.
that are straight from my heart and mind, with the help of some friends around town and some folks I love a lot. And so I'm really excited about that. I feel like it's going to be fun. So
It's gonna be. It's
good.
really good. I probably got a chance to sneak peek here, a
Oh,
bunch of
yeah.
them in the raw, whatever
This is true.
else, and man,
this is
it's.
true.
I'm proud of you. It's really good.
Well, thank you.
good stuff.
What are some things that you're looking to grow in, though? Because that's one thing about you. There's always
got my list. I got my
you
list.
always got your list. What's one of the things you're looking to grow in this?
Yeah, one thing I
upcoming
would tell anybody listening, we did an episode last year that we talked about the 10 questions everybody should ask every year. I want to encourage you, go back, listen to that, and let that kind of be a primer for you and stuff. But, I think just I've really tried hard. It's been an ongoing thing over the last few years, but I've really kind of been locking in on this of just trying to sort of walk with the Lord, just really literally taking walks, but then also figuratively, in the sense to where there's just an awareness of his presence.
Yeah.
I'm a doer. I'm not a beer. I don't know how to be. I know how to do. And any moment I have, I want to fill with some activity, and just trying to figure out how I can sort of slow my heart and my mind down to be able to actually walk with the Lord just on a personal level. Man, I'm in a different phase of life now with Hillary. We're about to send another kid to college this coming year. We've sent one, we're just kind of moving in this different kind of navigating phase and feel closer than ever. But man, I just really want to be intentional. I'm realizing that the moments where everybody is sorted together are few and far between. And so I just want to maximize them. I just want to do that, walk that better. And then I think just, my leadership has got to continue to grow as the church continues to grow. So I'm just kind of thinking through, how can I lead in such a way that allows me not to be the cap over what God is doing here. Clearly, God can do whatever he wants to and doesn't need me to do it. But on the other hand, I know I've got to operate differently. I've got to
Yeah.
trust the team differently. I've got to hand over leadership differently. I've got to delegate differently, all the various things, and just be comfortable with that, knowing I'm going to start doing more things, less things, but I'm going to do more of those things. And that's just a difference. Whereas before I kind of prided myself in doing a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll
good.
see. We'll see. What about any big things for you?
Well, obviously the role. I'm really
Yeah.
excited to work with the team. I mean, we just got some of the most amazing, talented, anointed people here, and so it's just going to be.
I met with a guy for lunch today, and he was like, "Man, it's so good."
Yeah.
I think God has blessed us.
Yeah.
Because every week it's different and it's good.
Yep.
You know. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that. But also, just growing up with Lily Grace is always fun. We're a little over a year into this, and not slowing down anytime soon. And so I'm excited about that. But also, we got to spend time with a mentor of mine a few weeks ago, and he just said, think about what it looks like to take risks for God.
Yeah,
take risks with God. And so I'm like, okay, well, what does that exactly mean?
Yeah.
And how do you do that? And how do you step into deeper areas of faith? And so that's what I would say. That's what I say for me. Just a few areas I've been thinking about as we close out 2025.
Yeah,
for sure.
One big thing, it sounds weird, but I'm really excited about in 2026 that I want to talk about today, because I feel like I get a lot of questions about this. A lot of guys who are like, okay, I'm kind of interested, but I'm not real sure what it looks like. I want to kind of be as practical as I can on fasting. Now, I realize, I get it. I thought that as well. That was sort of my impression of it when it came to fasting. Is never something that I would tell you is something that I even practiced until even very, very recently. But I would tell you, man, it's become something that I long for. Like, I can't wait. The discipline of disconnecting is really what it's all about.
All right, I'm intrigued. I love that. Fasting for many people is like the kiss of death when they hear it. But the discipline of disconnecting, what do you mean by that? Break that down
just
for
think
us.
about it. Your phone's always ringing, okay? Your inbox is always kind of full. You got work demands, you got family demands. If you're not careful, you're just kind of running from one thing to the other, and you're never actually thinking this through. Like, where am I actually going? Like where I'm running on a treadmill to nowhere is what it sometimes feels like. And so I read about Mark chapter 1, one of my favorite passages in all the Bible. It was like an epic day of ministry. I mean, like crazy busy. Jesus had people lined up all in the town. He was healing people right and left. I mean, it was just one of those days that like you were done, like you're just exhausted. And it says he got up early the next morning. He went to a solitary place and he met with the Father. So if it's a big enough deal for Jesus in the midst of chaos, busyness, and activity to stop and align himself with the Lord, what does that say about my need to be able to do the same thing? And so to me, what this just sort of screams is, hey, I need to actually not be busier. I actually need to stop and slow down and figure out how I can get clarity with the Father, how I can go and connect with him and align with him. That's more important than anything else that I can do.
That's huge. And I'm a just get after it guy.
Sure.
And so for me, I'm like, I like being busy. I like having something else to do. I like having something else to crush. But it is, and I would imagine that a lot of guys listening to this are the same way. Right? You got to win at work. You got to ride the wave. You got, good season in life, keep it going. But you're saying the example that Jesus is giving us is actually the exact opposite. Where when things are going really, really good, it's almost like, okay, now it's time for you to take a retreat.
Totally. And here's the thing. Here's the problem. Most men are too full to hear from God. I don't mean like necessarily their full stomachs, although most of us might be able to use a little bit of a break after the
talking about
Christmas,
fasting, of course.
the Christmas holidays kind of a deal. I don't know if you ate some of that peppermint cake from my house kind of a deal. You know what I'm talking about?
It's so good.
So good, right?
So good.
I mean, full everything though.
Yeah.
Like they got full schedules. Every hour is accounted for. Full inboxes. There's hundreds of emails and messages that demand your attention. Full entertainment queues. Like I can't tell you how many things I have on the continue watching category of Netflix that I haven't finished, or shows that I've tried to binge that didn't quite get all the way through, kind of a thing. Podcasts I'm stacking up of things I'm supposed to listen to. I always go this time of year and get a big list of books from guys of things I need to do, and it kind of reminds me of the books I didn't read. I'm a big reader, but I didn't read some of these books from before. Social media feeds that literally never end. You got full stomachs eating not because you're hungry, but because you're bored. or because it's that time of the day and it's kind of just there. We're so saturated with input that there's no room for anything else. It's like trying to pour water into a glass that's already overflowing. There's nowhere for it to go. It doesn't matter how good the water is, it's not ever going to be able to get in the cup because there's no place for it. So fasting, what it does is it creates an emptiness. The key, an emptiness, which isn't a bug, it's a feature, okay? Like we treat emptiness like it's a problem to solve. I got 20 minutes here, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna read a little bit, or I'm gonna scroll a little bit, or I'm gonna go fit a snack or a little bit. I'm gonna fill every waking moment. If I got a little bit of a margin, my meeting ended early before I've got another meeting, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna try to get a few things going. What God is trying to show is that we actually need to pour the cup out, empty ourselves, so that we can be in a position to be able to hear, to receive, to be able to walk with him.
And that's a convicting thought for me, for sure. But I would even say for some of the guys listening, because a lot of guys are just uncomfortable with emptiness. You know, like we don't like sitting in silence, having nothing to do. For me, it sometimes feels even wrong.
So let's talk through fasting. That's why whenever you said, oh, fasting, you kind of cringed a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe you cringed as you listened to this, is because if the idea of sitting for 30 minutes without picking up your phone feels like torture, you got a problem. Okay. If the idea of skipping a meal feels like somehow you're going to be anxious, that's a signal that you should lean into. Okay. The things that have a grip on you are the things in your life that's worth examining.
That's good.
And fasting, what it does is it removes basic things. And every single time I've ever done it, it begins to reveal other things that I wasn't necessarily looking for, that God's like, hey, we need to do some work on this and we need to do this. And I'm telling you, there's a connection with the Lord on the other side of that process that is worth every bit of it.
Okay, so let's get practical then and talk about what fasting actually is. When you say fasting, what exactly are you talking about? Because I think a lot of guys hear that and picture someone not eating for a long time.
Yeah, let's talk through it. It's saying no. Easiest definition is this: saying no to something good so that I can make space for something greater. No to something good so I can make space for something greater. Most of the time we're talking about food, but it's not limited only to food. The point is that you're giving something up. It's not so much about that. It's more about what you're making room for, okay? So you're starving the flesh to feed the spirit. You're turning down the volume of the world so that you can actually hear from God.
I like that, turning down the volume, but let's be honest, most of us have got the volume cranked up in our ears on like everything: music, social media, podcasts.
This one.
Step up.
Hey, that's right.
Step up. You're just
Shout
saying,
out.
but
Yes.
At some point we've got to turn that off and ask ourselves the question: what am I actually hearing, and what am I actually pursuing? And what you're telling us is that fasting actually helps process through that.
No question. Jesus talked about fasting with the same expectation he gave to praying. Matthew 6, he says, when you give, not if you give. He says, when you pray, not if you pray. And guess what? He says, when you fast, not if you fast, meaning this: fasting isn't like an optional add-on for Christians. I used to think of fasting like foot washing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's kind of cool, but no one does it. Right.
Yeah.
No one actually does it. And so for me, this is something that I had to kind of like grow in and realize this isn't like reserved for like the super Christians or like the pastor,
of the church,
whatever kind of a deal. This instead is something that I would tell you, I preached for years. I was a pastor for many, many years, and I thought fasting was, I didn't know anybody that actually did fast. We never talked about fasting. We never fasted growing up. It wasn't a practice that I saw. I thought it was like foot washing. It was just kind of like,
okay,
that's neat.
Yeah.
But it's not something that's actually happens.
So talk me through what changed for you then, because clearly, I mean, we have a whole week at the beginning of the year. It's one of Lily Grace and my favorite week, and then obviously the prayer service. Like, talk me through what happened for you that now that's what we get to experience.
Yeah. So I guess I would say, first of all, it came out of a place of desperation. So this was not, I wish I could tell you that like, man, I was like, oh, I want to grow in the Lord and blah, blah, blah. No. We were, when I came here in 2019, the church revitalization project, we've talked about that a handful of times.
Yeah.
And in the midst of all of that, we then moved into COVID, and then it just was not, everything wasn't like we wanted it to be, right? We kind of move at the end of 2020, heading into the beginning of 2021. And as I'm there in 2021, honestly, I'd given every pep talk that I possibly could give for the staff. I'd given every rah-rah speech that I knew how. I'd given every sort of, hey, look past this, give us the verse. God's going to have us for the future. He's not going to leave us, forsake us, all the things. We were walking through some financial struggles. It was just really, really deep, difficult times. We weren't unique in that, but we certainly felt it. I felt the weight of it in every way. And so I literally stood up in front of the staff at a staff meeting, having no idea what else to say. And I said, hey guys, I'm going to fast next week. If anybody wants to join me, you're welcome to do so. And that's what I did. I literally went a whole entire week and I didn't eat anything and I just drank water. I'll walk you through what the feelings were and some of the things like that in a minute. But in the process of doing that, it wasn't as though I had this revelation. It wasn't like God spoke to me and the clouds opened up and it was like, hey, you're going to be fine. It wasn't nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I will tell you what did happen is we looked up a few months later and realized we've baptized at least one person every single Sunday since that week. And it began a process where I could tell you maybe 2 or 3 times since that date in 2021, 2 or 3 Sundays total. We've had someone, at least one person, baptized every single week in the life of our church.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you that fasting is the thing that unlocked all of a sudden God's outpouring of life change that came in our church.
Yeah.
But I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah.
Like there's no difference. So the next year what I did is at the same time, I was like, hey guys, staff, we're going to do this together and I'm going to ask the church to do it. So I threw it out there. Anybody on the church? We did this last year. You want to do it? The stories that people began to tell me of how God began to move, and many of them were not during the week of the fast. They were weeks after the fast, was stuff that I just kind of got addicted of like, this is too good.
Yeah.
Like the benefit and what I began to feel physically, what I began to feel spiritually was something that I was like, man, I got to do more of this. Now we do it as a church. We had, it's a culture of our church now that we do it.
Yeah.
But I've also done even more extended ones and have done even longer ones than the 7 days to where now I dread breaking the fast. I don't dread doing the fast. Like I love it. I just know that I'm going to be like Jacob wrestling with the Lord. And I kind of just want him at the end of it to be like, okay, even if you got to give me a limp, don't leave me.
That's good.
Like I want to be with you. And I found there's nothing else that I can think of or experience that I've done so far discipline wise that allows me to get to this place of connection with the Lord.
You know, that's so good. And obviously, you have led so many of us to do that. And the stories that we've heard come out of our church just
So
from
good.
prayer and fasting, it's just been amazing. But oftentimes we see just off the mic, you'll talk about like you picking up these like different mannerisms.
Yeah.
You're like, when I fast, I just kind of pick up this mannerism. I pick up this mannerism like Christ. Can you speak to that like at all?
Yeah. I mean,
just think it's
I'm at the
valuable.
stage now in my age where like, I start doing stuff and I realize that's what my dad did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's good. I mean, I think like I've been around and watched and been seeing my dad so much that I start to kind of pick up some of the way he says stuff or the way that he interacts, the way that he does. I think, man, fasting is for me the way that I can be around the Father long enough to where I just start looking like him.
That's good.
And I just start kind of being like, he gives me the clarity. Maybe it's not like, oh, I need to do this, but more of just like, it's going to be okay. Just walk with me. I feel that when I'm doing it. I feel as well, just this sense to where God begins to just sort of like put things on my heart about even other people. He'll begin to I find myself so much more sensitive during that time to just the needs of others. Or I find myself at a place where, man, worship. I'm just telling you, we're going to have a worship night here at United City.
We are.
In the middle of the week of our fast.
Oh, yeah.
If our people will literally seek the face of the Lord and go before him throughout that week, I'm just telling you, worship that Wednesday night is going to be different.
Yeah.
It's gonna just like the prayer service was, it's gonna be the end of the fast. So I just want to encourage you. God answers prayers. Isaiah 58 verse 9 says this, then you shall call and the Lord will answer. You shall cry and he will say, here I am. Fasting is not some magic formula to get God to do what you want, but fasting is the formula for you to get your heart to align with what God already says that he wants.
That's good.
And that's been my experience. And that's why I think I enjoy it and love it so much. And every time I hear it, and if a guy's listening to this, oh yeah, I've kind of done a little bit of it, or maybe I've done this one, man, you need to go all in. you are missing out on the benefits. Any leadership lesson, any help we would give you parenting, any marriage tip that we've given you this entire year, none of it will ever come close to what God can say to you when you designate and devote time to go and seek him.
Man, that's so good. All right, so let's talk about going all in then. I've done this now for a few years,
Yep.
and thankful to have somebody like you kind of leading the ship on that for sure. Left to my own defenses, I would be like at Chewy's, like
Yeah.
day 2,
For sure.
right?
For sure.
So talk us through this. So talk the guy through it. That's like, okay, like I'm interested in this, but I literally have no idea where to start. What would you say? Walk us through some options. Talk us through it.
So first one I would tell you, the first way you can do it, the one that I encourage you to do listening to this podcast for sure would be this. It's a full fast. And what I mean by a full fast, do a week long where basically all you're drinking is water. You're not eating any food of any kind. Okay. You could do some limited juices, things like that. You want to be careful on acidic juices. So instead try to do something a little bit more calmer.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the only thing. I historically have a lot of times done sort of a water fast. Let me just go ahead and start off by saying you need to consult with your medical professional and make sure you're not doing anything that's not going to hurt you. Clearly. But I would also tell you this, you can do it. I think a lot of times when people hear not eating for a week, I'm going to like die or like I'm so busy and active. I work out while I do this. Yeah. And I've done long 14-day or more fast, right? So therefore, I just want to encourage you, you're not going to die.
Yeah.
I promise you. I am living testimony and I'm not, but I can walk you through kind of what it looks like for sure. So like day one is like the mental thing. You got a little bit of energy. You got a little bit of excitement. I'm in, I can do this. You're going to definitely begin to feel some things, hunger pains, but you're also going to be mental pains. But the reality is they're not really those things. Those are just like boredom. What are you doing to yourself? Why are you doing this? Okay. You wake up day two physically is one of the hardest. Mainly just because you do start to have your stomach grumbling and you hear those sounds, or then you're going to begin to have headaches. I almost always take medicine quickly whenever I get a headache. But I would also tell you this, the number one reason why you probably have a headache is because you're not drinking enough water. Yeah. So drink water. If you're not going to the bathroom multiple times throughout the day, you're not doing fasting right. Okay. That's kind of what it's going to look like. Okay. Day 3, for the first half, historically for me on that Wednesdays when it happens, that morning is sort of like this is stupid. Why am I doing this? Like, I just want to quit. I just want to, and you're going to have to mentally make the decision that day. I'm not going to quit. Don't quit on Tuesday. Don't quit on Wednesday. That's what I'm telling you, man. Don't quit on Tuesday. Don't quit on Wednesday, because you are very close to getting on the other side. If you get past the hump, typically it's usually in the afternoon or it's at lunchtime around Wednesday, you're going to be fine. And then you're going to wake up Thursday and you're going to realize, oh, this is great. Yeah. Mentally, you start having more clarity. You start just feeling like your body doesn't have the hunger pains as much anymore. It's not like it's kind of crying out to you. And then I would tell you, you start going into day 6, day 7, you're going to get some different physical symptoms. You're going to be a lot colder is what I found to be the case. You're going to find yourself that you also are going to have to fight boredom, like, because you realize how much you fill your life with bored eating is the case for me for sure. But I'm also going to find myself, I can't get up really, really fast, or I may get like a little lighter. So you just take your time and learn how to do that. Yeah. But man, I would tell you that's when it starts to get crazy good. You feel wonderful. You're a little bit, your shorts and pants fit a little bit easier. Yeah. But also too, you begin to just start, I find, hearing the Lord's voice so much more.
Yeah. This past year, Lily and I watched The Chosen.
Yes, that's good.
During the fast, and it was just game changer. It was amazing. And we weren't watching The Chosen. We were praying. We weren't praying. We were reading. We weren't reading. We were listening to music, and it was awesome. So that's like the complete one.
Okay, but hang on. Let me speak to that though, because I think you brought up a good point. It's very important when you fast, not so much what you're not doing, in this case, not eating. Yeah. It's also just as important what you choose to do.
That's good.
Okay. Yeah. You're just doing a diet if you don't eat. And there's physiological and physical reasons why you should fast for that part of things. Of course. But what makes it great is whenever you use the time you normally would spend for food and instead seek the Lord, read a book, read a devotional, figure out how to read scripture, maybe read through a Bible reading plan, figure out how to journal, pray towards the Lord, take prayer walks. If you just work through lunch, that's not fasting. Yeah. That's just called working. Okay. And not eating. That's all that is. So I just want to encourage you, like, this doesn't, now you're like, okay, what I got lunch scheduled. I schedule lunches almost all the time in the middle of my fast. And I just start off the meal by saying, hey, I just want to let you know I'm not eating today. And it's not weird
at all.
It's like weird at first, and then it's not weird.
Yeah.
And so it's just, you move on, and you're like, oh my gosh, seeing all those people eating, is that going to, no, it's actually not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And so, especially whenever you're doing it collectively, it makes it a little bit easier. But I do want to encourage you, don't just fill it with noise. Yeah. Don't just fill it with activity. You did the Chosen. That's a great option. I think there's whatever you need to think through. What am I going to not do? And then what am I going to pursue?
Yeah, it's just so good. Man, that is so good, and really helpful to hear just through the progression of that as well. And I agree with a lot of that. Not the cold piece though. I didn't really
experience that.
I didn't experience.
But
cold.
you did not initially think you were going to do the full week.
This is true. Yeah.
And
yeah, it was
stuck
fun.
with it. I remember talking to you, and you were definitely glad you did.
I remember,
and you lived.
Yeah, I remember Wednesday morning. You were correct. I was like, this is stupid. Yeah. This is whole deal. But then we get to Wednesday afternoon, and I'm like, wait a second. Like, I feel fine now. You're right. Everybody around here is moving a little slower. Sure. It's like, give me some time. But I mean, Wednesday night worship, even just leading in youth, was just so good. And so I'm deeply excited about what's coming here in the next year. But what about the guys who aren't ready to jump into a complete fast and are like, hey, I want to start this, but that seems a bit extreme?
Yeah. One, I would challenge you. It's not. Okay. But let's just still go there and act like it's the case. Okay. One, think through maybe a day. Maybe you're fasting from a whole day, okay? If you're here locally, we're going to do a worship night on Wednesday night of our fast this year. Yeah. So maybe you want to fast that day or Wednesday. But I would encourage you, if you're going to do something like that, maybe you, for the next 6 weeks or something like that, fast every Monday or fast every Friday or something like that for a specific thing. That could be one way to do it. Another way you could do it is maybe you skip a certain meal. Now, if you're like, man, I never eat breakfast, I'm going to skip breakfast. That doesn't count. Yep. That is not what it means, okay? Yep. But skip a lunch or skip a dinner, skip it every single night and allow yourself to do that. And that could be another way to kind of go about doing that. Let me mention another one too, is a Daniel fast. Yeah, I've never actually done this, but I know people that have. And that's basically where you just, it comes from the book of Daniel. Yeah. You eat basically fruits and vegetables and water. As a carnivore, I'm offended by this, but that's fine. But you're cutting out meat, you're cutting out sugar, you're cutting out processed foods. It's a great way for health considerations to make a complete fast. Maybe a complete fast is unwise. This is a good alternative that you could think through and do. I know some people that have enjoyed that. I think everyone should do a media fast.
Okay, what does that mean?
Except for listening to the Step Up podcast. But no, I mean, I think one of the key things is figuring out, and you may need to have social media or you may need to have media for a part of your job. But I would just tell you, don't just have the TV on every night. I would tell you, don't have the radio on. I would tell you, what does it look like for you to get off social media for a certain amount of time and not to be there, or for whatever it is that you consume the most, remove yourself that. Yeah. I've gotten into running. Run, but don't listen to anything. Yeah. Or whatever it case would be. Now, again, like, what about worship? Whatever. Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not trying to be legalistic. Yeah. I think the point is make it hurt. Yeah. Like it's meant to be something where I'm pulling away the full glass of water so that I can pour fresh, cold, refreshing water in, and it's got a place to go.
We've done the social media fast a few times, and I don't know what Apple's getting at when they give you your screen time on Sunday morning, Yes. But historically, my lowest screen time is the Sunday following the fast. Yeah. Because you don't realize how many times you pick up your phone and just casual conversation.
How addicted you are.
Yeah. Like
some of you hear me talk about media fast and give me a week without Instagram, a week without ESPN. Yeah. Like, I ain't going to make it.
And that's worse than food for some people,
But again, I whatever you're thinking, do a little bit more is what I would encourage you. Not because I'm trying to be legalistic and one up or whatever, mainly just because, bro, there is so much richness. Yeah. And whenever you've tasted it, you don't want to take anything else. Like you don't want to, you want that. Like that's all that there is. So let me just walk you through. Let me just give you some advice here, guys. Like, pick your fast. Decide what you're going to do, what you're going to say no to. Start where you are. If you've never done this before, maybe it's that one day, maybe it's one meal. But I also would tell you, you could just jump in and you could do it. But pick what you're going to do and then pick your purpose. Like, what are you seeking God for? Maybe it's direction in your career. Maybe it's wisdom for a marriage issue. Maybe you're just saying, God, I want more of you. Like I want to actually know you, not just know about you. Get specific about what you're bringing to him. But then I'm telling you, 3, this is a beautiful thing. you need to expect results.
Hmm.
Don't go into this thing thinking that it won't make a difference, because that's not faith.
Yeah.
Go into this expecting, not demanding. Most of the time when God has really been clear to me and done some things in the life of a fast, it has not been during the time frame of the fast. It's been weeks or months later. But because I had a sensitivity to the Spirit of God moving and listening and working in my life, I was able to see it later and be like, that was God that did that.
Yeah.
That was God who answered our prayer. Look at what he protected me from. If he would have said yes to all the things I was asking, look how much of a disaster that would have been. But instead, his way is better.
Yeah.
It is better in every way. And it just, as a guy, I'm not long into this, man. I'm not speaking to you as a veteran. I'm talking to you as a rookie who's tasted something great and never wants to go back.
That's good.
And I just want to encourage you to join me in that same thing, man, particularly as you think through what you're going to do in 2026.
That's good, man. PC, this has been so powerful, and I think there are going to be some guys that actually step into this and actually needed to hear this today, especially stepping into 2026. So thank you so much for breaking it down, truly. And for you guys that are listening, if this episode has helped you, man, share it with another guy who needs to hear it. I can't tell you the stories that we've heard just this year alone from guys that actually went full in with a fast and have just told us about the results, have told us about what God has done in their life, in the life of their family, in the life of our church. It's just really, really fun. And so I'm excited to see how we continue on this journey of prayer and fasting. Until then, we'll see you in 2026.
Can't wait.
All right. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for listening to the Step Up Podcast. Do us a favor and like, subscribe, and share this episode to help us get the word out. We would love to hear from you. So please leave us a comment and even leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast. For additional information or to reach out directly, please visit chriskouba.com. That's chriskouba.com. You can also follow Pastor Chris on social media and just search Chris Kouba. Kouba is Kouba. You can also follow United City Church on all socials at United City Church. That's going to be UNTD City Church. Thanks so much.